Hello, fabulous superstar Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of November 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time. Well, we've got these powerful energies playing out here, and we've got an important turning point moment for you that takes place with this month's new moon. This is so important for you. I know I talked to you about this in the year ahead special horoscope for your sign. It's that important a time. And that is because what we have here is a new moon in your sign that is so powerful. It is bringing such attention to what is true for you and what must change for you right now. As much as there's energy here of urgency and energy that feels erratic and dramatic, there's also faith and magic and meaningful transformation. And so much of you is in this, I'll say. Your ancient ruling planet and your modern ruling planet are intimately involved with this new moon. I think there are many Scorpios out there who are going to feel changed, or that something shifts for them in powerful ways now. This brand new start can feel sweeping or all-encompassing. Now, those of you born within, I would say, 5 days on either side of the 13th are going to feel this energy more than others might, but really every Scorpio out there is going to find a way to benefit from this time. And so what are the key and big characteristics here? Well, look, your ancient ruling planet is hand in hand with this new moon. It is right there together. So it isn't just about identity and priorities, which is what important lunar events in your own sign tend to bring a focus on. But how much of who you used to be is in this moment, or is part of how you're engaging with the changes and realizations of this time. But the other really big thing is Uranus with precision across the sky from this new moon. That is huge, I have to say. That energy is one that is erratic and dramatic and unexpected. And it likely is going to show up through your interactions with another person. A one-on-one alliance in your life, perhaps, but as a result of an exchange, or as a result of really contemplating the feedback that you're getting. It's almost like you have a response, you have a reaction to that. I'm sorry to say it might be uncomfortable, but it's almost like it needs to be uncomfortable for you to own your power, for you to say, this must change right now. This matters to me. You need to have that interaction with another in order to then look at yourself more honestly. But chances are you'll be making at least one major change, or more than that, very quickly in ways that maybe you didn't expect, but certainly other people didn't expect as well. It is like ripping off a Band-Aid. That new chapter for some Scorpios is going to be a dramatically different direction. But what we also get kicking in is harmonious Neptune, harmonious Pluto, your modern ruling planet Pluto. And that Neptunian energy is the faith and magic. The Plutonian energy is focus and transformation. And so you can see here, I know that some of what kicks off this brand new personal year for you, because anytime you have a new moon in your sign, it's like your own personal new year. As much as we have that new energy, it's like there's also momentum behind it. And as much as a moment that feels uncomfortable kicks off this new chapter, you are ready for this. You end up, in some ways, it's almost like an excuse that then allows you to do what you really want to do anyways. And so stay open to the prospects. Chances are you're going to see yourself very differently, but you'll also be honoring yourself more deeply as well. There's not a lot of room for compromise with energy like this. You're going to be true to yourself no matter what. That is when, really, as a Scorpio, you are most at peace. Now, navigating to the 27th of the month, that is when we will have this month's full moon. Now, that full moon is in a profound and meaningful and truth-oriented part of the sky for you. This is an area of life that your sign has a natural affinity with. And so you can see here that there is this very sweeping sense of how much authenticity and truth and transformation is on offer for you now. But that full moon specifically, it is opposite Mars. So again, we get this very old part of you triggered in some way. But it gets you to a deeper truth, and it gets you to own that more transformative energy at which you are at your best. It might involve a power struggle or game with another person. I'm sorry to say, but that does happen. But we get this square of Saturn as well. And what that tells me is a need for restraint and strategy. And so it could be that, yeah, there's some power struggle playing out with another, but you're holding back from making a rash decision or responding too quickly as part of figuring out what you really want to do. It could be now that you are looking at a financial matter, very possible, paying off a loan or a debt, or trying to access funding as well. And you're needing to be conservative with yourself and pace yourself in some way. Regardless, your answers are going to be uniquely your own. And you will find a way through this time if it is that it works out financially, which it might not be the case. The thing to remember is when we have such strong financial energy, the money you need is there. You're engaging some spiritual, emotional lessons along the pathway to ensuring that the resources you need are available to you. But ultimately, the universe is generous with you in its own way at this time. But I gotta say, it is a Saturn square here, so it's not a windfall by any means. There's going to be sacrifice involved in this, maybe a sense of feeling a little humbled, but it's going to be up to you to decide whether or not whatever you're sacrificing for resources is worth it. And again, I think most Scorpios aren't even going to experience this particular energy in that context. Very likely it's going to play out a lot more with emotions and power and truth and transformation where you're at your best. Now, where it comes to matters of love, that full moon energy, it is oriented around truth, but it also has to do with the vulnerability and honesty with another. It has to do with deep intimacy, the kind that can leave you changed. It is profound, it is meaningful, and can change your understanding of key connections as you go to a deeper level with people now. For those of you open to meeting someone new, well, I would be mindful, especially around the new moon and the full moon as well. With the new moon in your sign, it is opposite Uranus. So some interaction, attraction to another person could be part of what lends itself to change and beginnings on your part. But it's that full moon that is so intensely emotional. And that's where you're really looking at the limitations of a particular desire or drive towards another. You could connect with somebody powerfully, but the situation very quickly reveals itself to be very complicated. And it's up to you to decide how to engage it. For those of you just starting to date somebody, well, I do think you're being honest with yourself in some way around that new moon energy. That can be very powerful. However, as we navigate late into the month, I really think that is decision time. It's all or nothing. You're looking at it practically, but your decision is likely going to be made very quickly. You will know your truth very quickly, considering that opposition to Mars. If in any way this person represents past patterns, well, that's a sure sign that you're not likely going to be navigating forward with them. However, your truth might be that you feel profoundly connected to them. And in order to maintain a profound connection, to continue to grow with it, it might involve some truth, some patience, some sacrifice, but you'll know if the work is worth it. And for those of you in an established bond, well, I do think it's that full moon that's going to likely be a more important factor. And that full moon late in the month could play out in terms of your partner's income. So there may be a sense of some focus on that at that time. Maybe an expense shows up for your partner that they have to deal with or address in some way. For all that, that might not be the case. Absolutely, this can show up in terms of honesty and intimacy with each other. And so there is that sense of inviting each other to be more vulnerable. If there are other more complicating factors to the relationship, I think you're looking at them more honestly and addressing them. But if your relationship is good, has been good, this full moon can really strengthen the bond, the commitment that the two of you share. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a valuable and meaningful astrological moment. Of course, it's got to be that new moon. It is a peak moment of 2023 for the Scorpios out there. And this is a brand new, fresh chapter of one kind or another, near and dear to your heart, rooted in a shift of identity or priorities in some way. You're going to come to see yourself and know yourself differently as a result of this new moon. And my hope is that you get to that place where you really love who you are becoming that much more quickly with the positive momentum you start to generate at this time. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.